Boston Bar Association is proud to present MassMutual Financial Group with the first Beacon Award for their inspiring leadership in creating a more diverse and inclusive legal community in Massachusetts and Greater Boston. Founded in 1851, MassMutual ranks 93 on the Fortune 500 list of top earning companies. Their headquarters are located in Springfield, Massachusetts. The legal division is headed by Executive Vice President and General Counsel Mark Rolig.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say I'm certain that there are a lot of other great people and great firms that could have received the Beacon Award, and I know there's been a lot of effort across the whole Massachusetts community to focus on diversity. And with that in mind, it makes us feel all that much more proud and humbled that we received it.
What set MassMutual apart among all the candidates considered by the nominating committee was everything about their program.
It's not any one thing that an organization does that's going to make a difference in terms of really increasing diversity in the organization or setting an example for the profession at large. So for example, MassMutual I think was exceptional because it really had engaged in activities across the entire spectrum.
Well, one of the things we did pretty early here is create a diversity policy with a diversity committee, a standing diversity committee. And as part of that, we really asked the committee to focus both on internal and external issues relating to diversity. So as far as the internal issues, I would say, number one, we looked for ways to ensure that we created an environment within the law department that both promoted and valued diversity and inclusion. Then as we move outside the department, whether it be in the community where we sponsor bar events, where we assist with mentoring, whether we bring interns in that are diverse, whether we sponsor a fellowship, all of those things were basically run through the diversity committee and became commitments to the company.
The Law Division at MassMutual engages in several programs to support minority law students as they enter the legal profession. One program is the MassMutual Goodwin Proctor Fellowship, which provides a stipend for a third-year minority law student.
This came about through a dinner, actually, we were having with our leadership team in the Law Division and some of the lawyers who work with us at Goodwin. The person who was present at that dinner, Regina, who's the managing partner at Goodwin, was describing that fellowship, and Mark's interest was piqued, Mark Rolig's interest was piqued, and through that conversation an idea was born that MassMutual could in fact participate in that fellowship program by sponsoring a fellow.
And the stipend that follows from that fellowship, or is a part of it, permits that student or students to pursue a not-for-profit area or public service area where they can gain experience, where they can gain an appreciation for what the legal profession is all about.
It was clear from the fellowship that the idea wasn't for me to work for MassMutual, but the idea was for me just to learn and understand the dynamics between law firms and clients. And so diversity is pushed so much farther because, they're willing to put their money where their mouths are. They're really willing to not just, have a mission statement and, have a website of very colorful faces, but to really put time and effort into this program.
Let me say at the outset that MassMutual, as a rule, does not hire newly minted lawyers. So our work with new lawyers or future lawyers is about, in part at least, about creating a pipeline for us of talent, either of the fellows themselves or of people who hear about our involvement in this program and are attracted to MassMutual as a place that values diversity.
The Law Division's diversity policy addresses hiring and retaining diverse attorneys. Once hired, all new attorneys are assigned both a senior and peer mentor. The continuing focus is for attorneys to feel included and grow professionally.
So it takes a lot of work to, number one, create the environment where attorneys will want to come into, And number two, to once they come, make sure that they're going to be successful.
One of the important things about recruiting any attorney, including a minority attorney, is making sure that there's opportunities for advancement and promotion, and making sure that someone feels included. And one of the things that you need to do is allow attorneys to be able to be on specific projects that get them noticed.
As a young lawyer, what I'm concerned about is this idea that folks are investing in me, and the sense that they don't just want me to do the work, but they want me to learn and to grow. And the thing that makes me feel like I want to stay in Boston is that they focus so much on making sure that I'm learning and that I'm growing, making sure that I'm not just able to do the job in front of me today, but that I'm able to do the job of a mid-level when that time comes, and to do the job of a senior associate when I need to.
MassMutual has achieved success in the area of diversity because diversity objectives are not the focus of just one committee, but of the entire legal department.
I think the biggest challenge is getting people to stay focused on what you're trying to accomplish, and getting people to focus on what are the goals. We don't just want to have a policy, we want to have a policy with teeth that can show results at the end.
The teeth for our diversity objectives are both internal and external. Internal, every one of my direct reports has specific written objectives, whether it be attending certain events, whether it be ensuring that when they are about to do a hire to ensure that there's a diverse slate, or whether overall to help us improve our diversity numbers at MassMutual. So they are rated on those, and frankly their performance and their compensation is based on promoting diversity. Externally, we have, as part of our diversity policy, made it clear that we will only retain and use firms that value and promote diversity.
I was impressed by MassMutual's hiring practices in that they have an established criteria, they communicate that criteria, and they monitor it on a periodic basis.
Yeah, working with MassMutual in a diversity policy has actually been great, because what it does is it forces us as a law firm to focus on the issue of diversity when we submit our quarterly reports to them on how many diverse lawyers in the firm have worked on their matters. It's a way to prevent us from kind of slipping or forgetting that this is important to them and it's important to us. So every quarter we look, and if we see, geez, we're not involving enough diverse attorneys, we have a discussion as to why, and then we take steps to remedy it.
And we do make outside counsel staffing decisions based upon whether the firm is both promoting diversity and also actually staffing our matters with diverse attorneys.
What people don't know about MassMutual is that, about 90% of the law firms that they use for their work are law firms centered in Boston. So they've been well known in the Boston legal community for a number of years, but more recently, in the last 3 or 4 years, have become one of the kind of go-to companies for diversity that minority bar associations and minority attorneys can go to help them with career development and things of the like.
We encourage law firms in their diversity efforts through the power of the purse. So we make it very clear when we hire a law firm for a particular project, or when we decide whether a law firm makes it to our preferred provider list, that how they staff matters for us and what their demographics look like. That is very much a part of those decision-making processes.
One of the things that I have made clear when I go in to a firm on a new matter is that I want to see the team that they are going to staff the matter with, and clearly I focus on diversity. As a matter of fact, I told probably one of the 5 largest firms in the world, we were looking at doing a major transaction, and I wanted to meet the folks that were going to be in the transaction. And I told them, if in fact I did not see diversity in that room, I wasn't going to stay to finish the coffee.
Not only do they believe that diversity is a good thing to do as a moral principle, but they have also figured out, MassMutual has, that if they have a diverse group of lawyers working on their problem, likely is they will find the best solution.
I'm very proud to be working at MassMutual. I've been here for about 8 years now, and one of the things that I've seen over my tenure at MassMutual is its commitment to diversity. As a minority attorney myself, when I first got here, there was not a talk of diversity. And over the last 5 years, we've really seen an improvement in how MassMutual as a whole, company and law division, really focus on increasing the number of minority attorneys.
Well, as part of a diverse population at MassMutual, both as a woman and as an openly gay woman, it's incredibly gratifying to me to be part of such a committed diversity policy and process both in the law division and at MassMutual. Over the tenure of my 8 years at MassMutual, the changes in terms of both the demographics of the company and the law division, but certainly it's the focus of the company on diversity has been incredibly gratifying.
Well, I hope that the Beacon Award is a kind of a Boston call to action, so to speak, which would be to encourage other corporations to become more active in the area of diversity. And I think that some of the work that MassMutual has done has established best practices for what any corporation can do if they're interested in having both more diverse lawyers working at their organization, but also to have more diverse lawyers working for them as outside counsel.
So what I'm really hoping is that the Beacon Award will inspire people in other organizations to try to engage in some of the activities that MassMutual has shown can be successful, and that they will add to their list of things they want to accomplish, that they want to be recognized for having achieved at the level that would make them deserving of receiving the Beacon Award at some point in the future. I hope that that's what will be the outcome of this effort.
Let's congratulate MassMutual for illuminating a new path towards a more diverse and inclusive legal profession.